Hello, church. I hope everyone is doing well on this beautiful day. Today, I wanted to bring a passage to you in Psalm 61, verse 5. For you, God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. And verse 8 says, Then I will ever sing in praise of your name and fulfill my vows day after day. So this was a passage that we've been working on with the Marco Polo women's group. And those two verses stood out to me because they were focused on vows. And vows, I always immediately go to marriage vows. And of course, we know what marriage vows are. And I looked it up on Google to find the definition of vows. And what came up? Marriage vows. So I looked it up again and asked for a specific definition of it. And it said a solemn promise. So this led me into really thinking about what David was saying here and his vows that he was making to God. He was making a promise. And so what promises do we make to God? We make New Year's resolutions, and we dedicate our life to Christ. And with that comes vows that we take. We take a vow to walk away from our previous way of living, to walk in the presence of the Lord, and to share the gospel and to love one another. Those are vows that we take. And I started thinking about it a little deeper and thinking of it as promises. And I thought, what promises do we make? And promises, we had our prayer group last night, and we have a prayer group on Wednesdays. Everybody's welcome at 8 here at our house. And I was listening to people pray, and I thought, we're making promises to God in our prayer, and we're making vows to God in our prayer. So some of those I was listening to was promising to focus on God and not ourselves, promising to not be angry, promising to refuse to strive for something that's not of God. Those are promises that we make to God. And I was thinking how we promise to be a part of things with people. We promise to be a part of a ministry. We promise to come to an event or celebrate a celebration with someone, or promise to be a part of a Bible study. And as we're coming out of this time of rest, and we want things to start new and fresh, and we kind of want to restart for the whole year, and we're ready to make all of these promises and to make all of these new vows, not only with one another, but with God. And we've gotten into some good habits, some of us have, with reading our scripture and listening to sermons online and things like that. But as we walk into this, I want to challenge us to stick with our vows and stick with our promises that we make. And because in Ecclesiastes 5:4-6, when you vow to God, do not delay paying it, for he has no pleasure in fools. And this really hit me, because I thought, how many times do we as Americans walk away from our promises, walk away from our vows? And it's easy here because there's no punishment for it. And usually nobody even says anything. A lot of times people might be disappointed, but they don't say anything. So there's no repercussion for not following through with our vows. So here it is saying that God looks at you as a fool if you don't follow through with your vows. And I personally do not want God to see me as a fool. I want him to find pleasure in me. So I challenge you guys to step out, follow through, make your vows, but be solid in them and follow through in this new season that we're walking into. Have a great weekend, guys. Be blessed.